Who knew? Oh my goodness.
Tackles McCaffrey, busting through at the 30, 35, 40. Quick race down the right side. Here he goes at the 50, 40, to the Miami 30, 20, at the 10. A swipe with the ankles. They can't get him. Touchdown, Christian McCaffrey.
They can't get him. They can't get him. You're right.
They cannot get him, folks. They cannot get him because the C3 Panthers postgame is here, celebrating a 31-21 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. A game where we had some moments where we wish we could have had back, but we had more moments where we took the game into our hands. We seized the moment. The defense made turnovers. The offense made plays, and you can't catch Christian McCaffrey. Cody Lashney producing the show. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful, baby. We had to show the Bengals where the real Queen City is, right where I reside right now in Charlotte, North Carolina, baby. I'm ready to go. A huge victory for us. We needed it. Let's do it, man.
Joe Riolano in the house. You know you're excited. We moved to 2-1. I felt like you could take a lot of positives away from this game.
We did a lot of good things. And defense was way improved over last week's performance. Not even close. So yeah, I'm really excited about this win.
All right. We also got Mario here if he's going to jump in today and give us his fan take. And you can be like that. We're going to feature your calls today on the show. We've got one queued up. You can call into the Cat Calls line. The number is 252-228-5098. And guys, we want to make this the most interactive Panthers podcast out. This is the post-game show. You can access it and be a part of the show like everyone is. We can feature you and your questions and your takes through Shindig. That's in the show notes. And again, the number to the Cat Calls line is 252-228-5098. And let's go ahead and let's just say this, is that this was a game where Obata and Dante Jackson and Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey, that's the storyline. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Obata 2020, baby. I love it. Listen, man, especially if you know this man's story, I'm elated. I'm not only happy for our team, but I'm happy for him. Because, anytime you have a story where you've had to persevere through something in your life, then to come out on top, it's awesome. And I think he can be a real weapon for our defense going forward, man. I mean, he made plays when it mattered on the spot. And an interception? Come on. How do you not love that guy?
Joey, I feel like Obata is what we wanted that Ryan Dallaire kid to become one day. He is... Yeah. Obata is Dallaire with a real defensive end's body. He's a manimal out there, and we need it right now because, actually, I would say this. I thought Addison played great. I thought he played pretty well. He might be a risk in run defense, but it's going to take some pressure off of Julius Peppers. Look, that defense wasn't perfect, Joey. They let up some big runs, some big plays. When AJ Green was in there, we were really struggling. And if Andy Dalton had time, he was going to be able to give us some fits. But AJ Green goes down. The defense plays opportunistic, not perfect, but opportunistic. Joey, put us in some good places to succeed. Man, you got to be fired up about that at the very least.
Oh yeah, I really loved how fired up the defense came out. You could tell that they had really gotten an earful after last week's game because they came out really with a high level of intensity. And that's what we're used to seeing. While there was some pressure, we were getting gashed a little bit on some run plays, but they did tighten it up. and they really forced the Bengals into some tough situations, and that allows the defense to really go after it. We really saw what is more of the traditional Carolina Panthers defense this week versus last.
Strange occurrences going on the podcast. Cody and them cannot hear Joey. I can hear Joey fine, so you're blasting out to the world. It's just the people in the actual in our room can't hear you, which is strange. So, Joe, what we're going to do is we're going to bounce both people, you and Mario, out, and we'll bring you back in to try to reestablish a solid connection. Joe, we'll start with Joe. All right, so look, on the offensive side, guys, and to you, Cody, as you're bringing these people in, I'll talk and ask a long-winded question so you can focus on that. Cam Newton goes out there 15 for 24, 150 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. But, man, he was deadly. But Christian McCaffrey was even more deadly. 28 rushing attempts for 184 yards. He was gashing them all over the place. Man, with those 2 guys back there, this offense could be electric if you could just get the other parts to work in complement.
I mean, I think it already is electric. I mean, if you look at what they've been able to do, they've done some very promising things. And I want to say that McCaffrey already has like the record for the 12th or 11th most rushing yards in a single Carolina Panthers game. So, I mean, there's always been this debate on can Christian McCaffrey run up the middle and in between the tackles. And we're seeing now that he can absolutely do that. He is the bell cow running back. He can do it all. I see no difference between him and what a guy like Saquon Barkley can do, even though they're physically different. Christian McCaffrey is the man, and that really opens up a lot of what we're able to do on offense. I loved it.
Let's go to Mario next. He's got the mute on right now, so if you turn that off, man, when you look at this, the offense was plagued also by some problems. Problems being Devin Funchess and Torrey Smith. Devin Funchess had a rough start, but was able to pull it back together. Torrey Smith, he kind of brings some things and not some other things. So Mario, if you want to go ahead and have your opinion heard on the C3 Panthers podcast, here's your chance to shout. But it looks like his mic's on mute to me.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say this. Smith leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. I know we brought him in to be a leader and to give us that speed, but my man is the most inconsistent when it comes to catching the ball. And as a receiver, that is your number one priority. And it's not like these are tough catches he's having to make. They're catches a NFL caliber receiver should be able to make with ease. And that's something we're not seeing.
I look at that crazy catch that A.J. Green pulled in, right? And he hauls in this catch. They say he's out of bounds. It was a catch. They rightfully overturn it. But I'm thinking here, that guy's making that mess look routine. And this ball is hitting Devin Funchess. That ball was like maybe 3 inches behind him. Like, yes, could have been in a more perfect spot? Certainly. But it was not like just crazy. And they're like, well, Cam's got to throw a better ball. Well, Andy Dalton's over there dropping these things in the 4th row of the stands, and A.J. Green finding a way to catch it. Now, if Funchess comes back and responds well, they draw up some plays that put him in some good spots. He catches the ball. We march down there. We had a great second quarter, and a lot of that momentum shifts after A.J. Green goes down. We then get a big stop, I think, on third down when Addison gets a sack on the following play. And then we really get that offense moving. You saw some plays downfield. You saw a combination of Christian McCaffrey. I feel like the end of the second quarter, the game became the Carolina Panthers. We won the second quarter, and it was ours from then on out.
Yeah, and especially going into the locker room at halftime, and you're up on the boards. That's important, man. I mean, that really is. And I want to say that whenever the Panthers do that, we win most of those games. I mean, it was absolutely huge. I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on our defense, because it seems like, early on, it almost seemed like a do-over of Atlanta. They were able to run the ball on us. They were gashing us deep down the field. But then later on, after our offense started to electrify everyone, it seemed like our defense really started to turn it up and really make some plays. But it was really kind of inconsistent from half to half. So, I give this performance by our defense maybe a C+. But I'm excited to hear what you guys think about our defensive performance today.
Joey, it always seems like it's on Colin Jones.
Always.
Whatever it is. And it's like every play that is bad, he's involved in. Every play that's miraculous for the other team, he's involved in. Even when he tried to make a great play, the guy still made a better catch. Colin Jones, poor Colin Jones, is the new, who is that kid, Brenton Burson. He's the new Brenton Burson.
Yeah. Although Brenton probably made more plays than him, so there's that.
Yeah. I think of him as the new Hideki Nakamura. You guys
remember? Dude, somebody tried to troll us. Somebody tried to troll on Twitter when what's his name got hurt. Well, Cersei went to IR. They retweeted a tweet from 2012 that said we signed him. And I was like, nice try. We're not following for it.
Yeah, I think of him when I think of Colin Jones, and albeit Colin Jones is probably a better player, but man, it just seems like every time a guy gets beat, it's number 42.
Or even if it's not him, he's the guy that like somehow looks like it's him.
Yeah,
like even when
he's like one of the fastest guys on the team. So,
you know what? The only time they get to
good.
The only time they get to see that, guys, is when he gets the catch-up speed.
Yeah,
right.
And
after the guy caught him on running.
Yeah, to his credit, that catch by Tyler Eifert, that was an insane catch, man. Your boy should have had. Yeah, it really was. Colin Jones should have.
Nobody could have done anything about that. I mean, that's a catch.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Even when he played great, it's bad.
Yeah, and what really got me was that touchdown he gave up in the end zone. He totally lost his man. Totally just, bit on the play fake. Not even worried about his man, and that's the guy that they threw the touchdown to.
Guys, we're going to go ahead and start firing away at a couple of cat calls. The number is 252-228-5098. We want to get your raw response to the game. What did you like about today's win? How excited are you? That offensive line performance, we're going to talk about that. Just so impressive. But before that, so just go ahead, have your calls. I'll queue them up. Here we go.
It's not going to be a lot of shouting. What's going on, guys? The Black Cat, Blaine Herbert, and in a little bit better mood this week. It's not going to be a lot of shouting and screaming, except for I just finished watching the game. It was a great game. F.A. Mbada, I think that's his name. That cat can play. He showed what he can do in preseason, and he should have had 2 sacks, but the ball wasn't moving, so it was a strike call or whatever. But this cat has a motor, and I'm starting to like. He's the only one that's getting consistent pressure. Every time they put him in, he's busting his tail to get to the ball. So I love that. Cody, you were right about.
We lost him.
Yeah,
Good call to start callback, Brandon.
He's giving me props. Huh?
I know. Here we go. Next call.
David Mayo, Colin Jones.
That's it. David Mayo, Colin Jones. I agree. What a good call. Look, David Mayo, he has to. We have to remember this, folks. This team is going to get better when TD comes back, because there were times today where you have to run a 3 linebacker set. It's advantageous for you on distance and down, particularly as you get from the 20 to the end zone and the field is shortening a little bit. You can get stouter without having to bring all the DBs in, particularly when your DBs are, inexperienced at the very best. So Mayo doesn't make us better on those downs. Shaq will, right? TD will. So when you have TD, Shaq, and Kuechly out there, that's going to be a better trio. But like we've said, guys, Colin Jones, it's tough to watch, but nice to have him there at the very sense that we didn't even have a warm body to stick in other than him in this event. So we've come out of this game, I feel, overall without suffering any notable injuries. I think that's a positive. I think now let's go and talk about this offensive line. They give up, I believe, 1 sack or a fumble, and that was probably on Cam a little bit for not feeling the pressure. It was on Chris Clark's side. Dunlap is able to get around him. But, man, he is out there fighting. This offensive line was opening up holes for Christian McCaffrey. Joey, where did this come from? How is this happening? And can we continue it?
Well, I think it is a real testament to North Turner's offense. I was thinking about this while the game was on. Now, look, North Turner was in his prime when he was with the Cowboys. Okay? When they were winning Super Bowls with Emmitt Smith. He ran his course with them and then went on to a few other stops at places, but wasn't really excited. I think he was kind of bored with the game. He steps away, takes a year off, gets to watch Cam Newton, gets to see Christian McCaffrey, and he gets excited again because he knows he's got a quarterback and he's got a running back that are superstars ready to fit right into his offense. And I think he's excited about football again. I think he feels rejuvenated because he's got the talent around him that he knows can run this offense and excel while doing it. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing North Turner's offense being run to perfection, or at least, working toward perfection with Carolina's offense. Doesn't matter about the offensive line because you're not straight up blocking anymore. You're pulling. You're reaching. You're doing a lot of misdirection and a lot of quick throws, quick hitting runs. So that's what I think has happened with this offense. It's been totally renovated, and what we're seeing start to show itself on that field is going to be a real thing of beauty.
Cody, I saw this as I saw Marxist Panther or whatever his name is say something positive about North Turner. you know things are happening when that guy said something positive. Period.
For real.
I think it might be snowing outside my house. I need to go and check. But and you know what's funny about that guy? Because a lot of times he says something that he says things I really do agree with a lot of the times, but then other times he's just upset for the sake of being upset. But listen, I have to say this, man. Chris Clark, I believe is his name. That's our new left tackle, and for a guy that has come in off the streets, or I believe he was with Texas, and to play how he has played. Now, given he had 2 bad plays that I remember seeing, and the strip sack was on him. He just got beat around the edge. But man, to be able to come in and hold down the left tackle position like that, and I know I've said it before, but that is such a huge deal for us, man. For Cam to know that he has some time to drop back and throw the ball, and that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, he's delivering the ball to all the different options on the team, and he's delivering them, with time. This offensive line is playing well. I like what Joey said, though. When you're putting emphasis on running the ball, and you have guards and tackles, and they're pulling, they don't know if what we're going to do, so they don't know if they have to be an edge protection or pass rush. It just throws them off, and I really do enjoy the versatility that I'm seeing out of our offense right now. We're doing a lot of things well, especially early when our defense wasn't really doing a lot to help them. So I was very impressed with our offensive line today.
Thanks for joining the C3 Panthers podcast post-game show. You can be a part of the show by calling the Cat Calls line 252-228-5098. We'll feature your take here on the show to get that raw reaction. We encourage you turn your phone from landscape to portrait and smash the thumbs up button. Tell somebody about the show. Joey, I put up a tweet here from Frank Garcia. It says Norv Turner will win a Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. And I continue to think about this, is that we don't have Greg Olsen. We have had Devin Funchess and Torrey Smith play with, at best, inconsistent play. And we've been devastated across the offensive line with injuries. Losing Greg Olsen, again, I'm going to say that one more time. We lost Greg Olsen. We're playing with a rookie tight end. And you're talking about this is what Norv Turner can do or is doing. Imagine if he had the parts, and imagine when they find the right combinations of receivers out there, Joey. Sky's the limit, I think.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. I think once the guys know the system very well, because, they're still learning it, I'm sure we're only just barely into the playbook. We saw the play today where he faked a handoff, looked one way to throw it, and turned around and threw the screen to CJ. And I was like, now we're getting into his playbook. When you start to see that kind of stuff, you know that he's feeling comfortable enough with personnel that he is able to, bring in these plays that take a little more time, but that when they're pulled off, they have devastating effects for the defense. Because did you see the entire Bengals team on one side of the field?
What a beautiful play.
Everybody was on one side of the field, and they threw back to the other.
That's the exact type. That's the exact type of formation we talked about when we signed CJ, and we said we love to see Cam, McCaffrey, and CJ out there all go in different directions. And how do you account for it, Cody? It seems like on that play we found the magic recipe to use all three. Cam was feeling the read option today with Christian McCaffrey, but Christian McCaffrey he's such a hot hand right now. You can't force bringing CJ in too much. But how do we continue to find the right personnel combinations because we just have not seen hardly any DJ Moore. And I don't know if some of the other guys have shown that they're much better than a raw DJ Moore at this point.
Well, and again, it's like, I don't know if we even know that, you know? It's like, okay, DJ Moore really isn't seeing a lot of snaps even still. So is it on him? Like, are we giving Ron Rivera too much flack? Is DJ actually having some struggle, really picking it up and being that receiver for Cam in practice? Or, what is it? I mean, I saw some people in the chat already saying they want to see more of Jarius Wright on the field, who has also been great on third down. But you brought up Christian McCaffrey and how important it is, and I just wanted to show this right here. I mean, when you look at what he's done through 17 games, or 16 games last year, and you look at what he's already done now, I mean, that's insane numbers that he's putting up. I mean, that's fantasy heaven for whoever drafted him, I mean, he really is doing a lot for us. And, I said it earlier, and this kind of goes without saying, but when you have a running back that's able to do that, Norv Turner is just drooling, man. I mean, he has so many options that are available to him now that, it's hard to see why you wouldn't, keep things kind of the same that we've always done. The Panthers run the football. And when we run the football, we win football games. And that includes Cam Newton, who is also great. Look, that bootleg on third down, man, that was just beautiful. And then Cam Newton pushing it into the end zone. We have a triple threat attack now with C.J. Anderson that is going to be a real nightmare for opposing defenses to have to go up against going forward. And it's a good time to be a fan of this Panthers offense. That's for sure.
I think we got to get our wide receiver core playing at a higher level, though. Is that imagine the compliment? The compliment, because there was one point where it was, I think, first. I don't know. It was early in the game. We were down towards the red zone, and the receivers had been struggling. And I said I wouldn't be mad if they just tried running it between a combination of Cam, McCaffrey, Cam, every play. Like, not even try to pass. They were able to turn it on. But imagine if, Cam was making the right reads, that right down the field a lot of these times. So if those things can connect and you have that potential devastation on the ground game, it could be very, very good. But I wonder if Funchess and Torrey Smith are the right combination. Can we cycle them a little bit better? So sometimes it's Cam. So sometimes it's Funchess and DJ Moore. Sometimes it's DJ Moore and Torrey Smith. Sometimes it's Funchess and Jarris Byrd. I don't know if that is there something about not being able to do that because it slows the game down by making too many substitutions, or is it about trying to find a rhythm with the same guys? But it doesn't look like we're interested in overly rotating at that position.
Yeah, and really it's a practice thing. I mean, they have to really train that RPO styling in practice. And, I mean, yeah, it's possible. I see teams do it all the time, switching guys in and out on plays. The Falcons and Saints do it. I see them do it all the time. I completely agree with you. And I also think that, when Cam is playing lights out, Torrey Smith and Devin Funchess have to come down with the ball. And also, am I the only one that wanted to just beat the crap out of these announcers during the game, dude? Okay, not only was one of the guys in the booth just wrong about everything that you said, but then the other guy was like just trashing on Cam Newton, like even after plays that he did something well. It's like, what's going on here? It was really infuriating to me listening to it and watching.
I tell you, the one thing that stood out to me, and you knew it was going to be a tough day from the broadcasters. I'm trying to see who called the game, because one of them has been around forever. Announcers Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, and Steve Tasker.
Terrible.
Steve Tasker said DJ Moore was from Arkansas when he was returning the kick. And I thought, man, this guy has been around in the league so long. He thinks that DJ Moore and Joe Adams are the same person.
Exactly. And this, how about that pass? How about that pass to Devin Funchess across the middle? It was in the first drive of the whole game. Devin needs to bring that ball down. And meantime, the announcers is like, that's a throw that Cam Newton has to make. It's like, dude, do you even watch football? Come on, man. That was 100% on Devin. And for my money, I only counted one throw late in the game. It was to Devin Funchess, and it was way too high. That was the only throw on Cam Newton. Other than that, man, through 3 games of the NFL season, Cam Newton is playing out of his mind as a pocket quarterback. I mean, he's been doing it all and doing it all very effectively. And as fans, we have to continue to say that and show our boy some love when he goes out there on the field and just puts it down and shuts up the haters, man.
I'm telling you, if you think about some of the plays that were left on the field last week with that Funchess on that back shoulder throw, this week on the Funchess drop across the middle, 2 Torrey Smith catches that I think were makeable at least.
Yeah.
You saw a lot. I mean, if you think about those types of plays still being left off, he's throwing pretty darn well. I think the only thing, and I don't know enough about it, but it seems like Cam might be leading the receivers a little bit too much to the sideline on the deep ball instead of leading them a little downfield a little bit more.
He needs to go more over the top as opposed to trying to sneak it in the boundary.
Yeah, because it seems like that's just making it a little bit more difficult catch on those receivers.
So then you got to worry about their feet.
Yeah, exactly. And they're trying to twist their body around and some things to that effect. Now, look, guys, the NFL is a wonky place. I wanted to point out, so just a couple of notables. We'll go over the stat line real quick. We did Christian McCaffrey's stat line. Dante Jackson, 2 interceptions. Luke Kuechly had a pick. And you had a sack from Addison, a sack from Obata, and arguably a play that was more important than a sack with that Obata hit. So where he forced, at least on the 3rd down, what we thought could have been a fumble. So you saw a lot of guys getting involved, but you can continue to see Christian McCaffrey, Cam Newton being the staples of this offense. And I don't know. I don't even know if the defense has found its identity just yet.
No, I don't think so either. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I don't think so. I think we're still looking. We have to get some pieces playing better. We have some new pieces that we're trying to incorporate, and when you do that, chemistry, as much as anything else, has to be developed. And we're only 3 games in, so let's remember that.
Yeah.
Right now we are tied. We are 3rd in the division, a half game back from Tampa Bay, who still has yet to play. They're 2-0. The New Orleans Saints put down the Falcons today to move to 2-1. We moved to 2-1. The Atlanta Falcons moved to 1-2. So the Panthers are in a tight division, and one that is becoming more and more competitive now that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are kind of in on the action, guys. But you never know what's going to happen in this league. The scores were so wonky today. The Giants beat the Houston Texans. The Miami, I thought Miami was going to win, so that's okay. But Kansas City, 38-27, which was really a blowout. The Buffalo Bills, 27-6. The Washington Redskins, 31-17. And I think if there were any other upsets, I'm sure they were kind of crazy as well. Guys, what I'm trying to say is this is a week-by-week league. The Panthers are heading into a bye, correct?
Yeah, we are, and it could not have come at a better time.
So this you never know where you're going to be at, what your defense, what your offense is going to be looking like. So we'll be all covering that more as we go along. Still just another minute to get your calls in, 252-228-5098. I think, guys, it's time now to give out a game ball or something.
I just like doing it, man. Dab on them folks. Dab on them folks. And that dab on them folks. They like seeing it. Tell me what to do. Dab on them folks.
This is the C3 Dab on them game ball. You're going to dab on those folks. You're going to pick your player of the game and tell me who it is. I'm going to start firing off Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was on fire, put up over 100, I think, and 50. He had 184 yards rushing on 24 attempts, a 45-yard long rushing attempt. He looks like he's gaining more and more chemistry on the read option with Cam Newton. So to you, Christian McCaffrey, you're hot. And you know what you do when you're hot? You dab on them folks. Cody, who you got?
Listen, man, I hate to toot my own horn on this, but I've been telling y'all since we drafted him that Dante Jackson is the man, and he is indeed the man. I mean, listen, he has, I believe, now an F.A. Obata. Now they're the ones that they're making the interceptions, man, and now they're making interceptions that matter. And listen, Dante Jackson, I love the energy. I love what he brings to the backfield. He's so good at what he does. So I'm going to tell Dante Jackson to dab on them folks. Let's go, baby.
Joey, do you got a player for this game?
Yeah, player of the game for me, I would have to say was the Obata?
Yeah.
Can I say that?
One sack, one almost forced fumble and interception. Not a bad game for a guy who just started playing football.
Game of ever being on the active roster. First time ever.
Yeah.
So you gotta take into that.
Yeah, he's got a crazy football body. He looks like a scary NFL defensive end. I love this story. Dab on him, guys. The Carolina Panthers, 31-21 victors heading into the bye week. Any last thoughts on this show and this game? We've talked offense. We've talked defense. I thought Pilardi was punting the ball well today. Cam's been great. You know, I don't even know what we need to do to get healthy. I think for us, it's going to be continue to find a little bit of security at that safety position. What do we need to go forward? That's what we'll end this conversation with, is the Panthers kind of reasserted themselves. This is not a win that solidifies them to be on the uptick, but it is one that made sure that Atlanta win, it told us that Atlanta game in Atlanta was a tough game, and we hung in there. We have the ability. We come out today fighting, throwing blows back and forth, game-changing type plays. We pull out the victory. Where do you need to see the Carolina Panthers go into the bye week and continue to work and improve? I'll start with you, Cody.
Well, first and foremost, I need to see them healthy. I mean, this bye week really is a big deal for us. And it is a blessing that it's this early, man. Let's get Trey Turner back. Let's see if we can get Curtis Samuel back. Maybe even throw in a rare Demir Bird to come back. And our offense, which is already potent, is now just on fire with even more options for Cam to throw to. And our defense, we have to stop the run. I mean, even though we were the better rushing team right now, they ran for too many yards, and they didn't even have Joe Mixon on the field. So stop the run and get healthy. That's what we need to do going forward.
All right, somehow the YouTube stream went down at the end of the show, so we might as well close it up. Joey, what do you got going on as your – luckily, I'm recording all of this in the background. We are on Facebook and Periscope too. Joey, what do you need to see for this team going forward?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is make a little more stout against the run. I'd like to see them really minimize a team's running attack. Early in the game, they were giving up some runs, but as the game progressed, they got better and really made the Bengals throw a little more. So I'd like to see them shut down the run right off the rip. So we can start pinning our ears back and going and getting that quarterback.
Yeah, my thoughts continue to be on this defense. Can we find enough security in the secondary to make this secondary work? But what I want to see is this. We saw Obata come out and play. We've seen some kind of plays from Dante Jackson, rookie, making these interceptions. Look, those are fantastic. Those are the plays that make great defenses better. But what I want to see, I need to see Julius Peppers. I need to see more Dontari Poe. I need to see more KK Short. I would say see more Addison, but I think I've seen plenty of him. What I want is the guys who are supposed to be making the money to make the money, so that when Obata comes in and does these things, when Dante Jackson as a rookie does these things, that they are able to put us over the top rather than to keep us where we need to be. But overall, a great day for the Carolina Panthers, a 31-21 win over the Bengals. And we're going to go ahead and shut this show down. Cody, tell them how they can find you on Twitter and whatever you want to say.
At Cody Lack, CODYLAC. I like to respond to fans. I like the conversation. I love it, man. Come follow me. Everybody enjoy this next weekend without Panthers football. You still have us, though. And come on, how can you not love us, right? I mean, Joey, look at Tony's face. How do you not love that face? Come back. We love you. And that's it.
Do we have J-Dub we can bring in for some final thoughts real quick? J-Dub, if you want to get in before we close in, this is the show. What we want to do is we want to get Panther fan interaction. It's your time to shine here and let us know what you think about this.
I got to run. I'm going to say peace out. I will see you guys Tuesday. I'm excited about Tuesday night where we can really chop things up. Y'all take care. I'll see you then.
All right, fantastic. Later, Joey. We're going to J-Dub now. J-Dub in the house. I feel like you're going to be pretty happy about today.
Oh, you know it. I really didn't get to watch the game. It wasn't on around here or nothing and all that, but I was definitely checking in. I had to do some last-minute shopping because I'm a best man in a wedding this weekend and everything, but I was every 5 seconds I'm checking that phone. But overall, I think it went really well.
You know, Dante Jackson comes in and has some turnovers, and then you get the defense. Defense did enough today. The offense was excited. Was exciting. Man, how do you see this as something we can build on, J-Dub?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is exactly what I was looking for the game before the bye week. Like, you really needed I wouldn't say an extra gear. You needed to see a sign of life, like a sign of things moving forward, things moving in the right direction. We didn't need to have that dominating, 40-0, but, a close game so we can handle the stress. We always fought through like we always do. And towards the end, I know since I was just, like I said, just checking the play-by-play and such, I see we're up by a score. The next time I look, where it's 4th down, we're punting, and I'm like, oh no, not the same old, keeping them in the game till the end. And then I look again, and I'm like, oh wait, we scored again, we put it up, and that, getting down there and getting that extra score ahead, to go up 10, that's huge. I know it was like towards the end and everything, but you got to put people out. You can't just leave them hanging around and be like, okay, this defense will save the day no matter what. You can't be like that. We play some explosive teams, especially in our division this year. The Bucks and the Saints and Falcons are putting up 30-something, 40-something a game. Like,
yeah.
You give these guys the opportunity, they're going to take it.
I agree. And, and I think Cam Newton has played lights out there. Go ahead, Cody.
Well, first, I want to say congratulations to J-Dub because he did hand me a whipping in fantasy football, dude. And I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna shy away from it. J-Dub did me dirty in fantasy, man. But okay, based off of everything that you've seen thus far, Josh, what would you say you're most happy about with this Panthers football team right now?
I was expecting more from the veterans, I'll be honest, but with the resurgence, the bringing in of some of these younger guys and letting them be involved, this is why I think it's so frustrating for us as fans, not seeing more and not seeing Arma. But at the same time, I mean, Thomas is in there, Action Jackson's in there, F.A. Obata's doing his thing now. I think the mixture of vets with the young guys is going to help this team in the long run. Jarius Wright, I knew from the beginning. When I saw we got him, my only scare was he'd be like Russell Shepard, kind of, because when we got Russell Shepard, I think we were expecting Jarius Wright, and that never happened. But when we got Jarius Wright, I'm up here in NFC North territory, and the Vikings fans were hurt when they lost him. They loved him.
He is, yes, they did.
Mr. Third down, gotta have it. Goal line, your only chance. If you have one chance, one shot at medium to a short distance, you got to go with the guy. He knows how to get open. He has sure hands. And I just like where this team's going forward. I mean, we started off with all three brand new coordinators. All of them were brand new. It was going to take some time to adjust. The injury didn't help. And now we're going into the bye like this. The loss of the Falcons hurt, but we were missing 4 out of 5 starting O-linemen. And if you do that to almost any other team in the NFL, they will crumble and fall apart. We were in that game.
And to be there. And we were in there. We were more than in there. There's a couple of missed, as Ron Rivera would say, missed opportunities. But those opportunities were there, and we didn't capitalize on them. So it wasn't like we just got smoked last week, and we came out this week and reminded people that, hey, or tried to make a statement. I think the statement is that this team isn't going to quit mentally. And that's a big statement to make at this point when you've been struck by so many injuries. But dang, you want to be thankful about something. The injury to Matt Khalil may have been the greatest blessing that ever happened to us. That guy stunk.
Yeah, and listen, how about this? Did anyone think that, at this point in the game, we would feel that our offense could go toe-to-toe with any defense in the NFL? I didn't think so. I thought maybe our defense might have been able to do the reverse, but our offense, I trust them to go against just about whoever you put us against. I mean, they're firing on all cylinders, and we're missing a lineman, and we're missing receivers. I'm very happy with this offense.
Mm-hmm. I never thought we'd trust the offense more than the defense, but it's almost that way at this point.
No. Yeah, it is that way at this point.
I think what the offense does, J-Dub, is that they just move the ball. It just moves. You know what I'm saying? You throw a 3-yard screen pass, and it turns into 7 yards. You throw a 17-yard pass, and it turns into 21 yards. Cam Newton is bootlegging out and moving the chains. We're moving. So we got to be excited about that. I think Norv Turner's showing these young pups that he is the real deal. But we're still not playing at peak. We're not running. We're not firing on all cylinders. And that's good. If you can win through the times you're not firing all cylinders, then that's good things to come. All right, so last point and we're getting out of here, Jada. Tell us what you want to see coming out of the bye week that the Panthers are able to do, whether it be focus on tightening up on defense on the run game, like Joe said, or whether it be maybe making an acquisition at safety, what do you think the priorities right now for the Carolina Panthers heading into the bye week are?
Okay, the safety thing, I mean, that might have already set sail. I'm not sure. I will say one thing: if we're not going to do anything at safety, you need to get Rashawn Golden ready to go. Colin Jones is a serviceable backup, but he's a special teamer. He just can't be out there on starting defense.
Yeah.
I would rather have a rookie out there struggling and learning trial by fire than have Colin Jones in there, because we already know what he is. He ain't changing at all. Going into it, though, I don't want them to come out flat. There's so many times with Ron Rivera teams that after the bye week, you're just like, well, we're at least going to have this loss. Hopefully after that, everything else will be good. If they can come out strong, at least just the same point that they're at right now, I'll be happy with that, because I think we'll take that and to take some of these quote-unquote lesser teams to get ourselves set up and get everything firing on all cylinders. Because if we get everything's firing on all cylinders after that, it's going to be a fun stretch heading to the end of the season and hopefully the playoffs. I think this team can do a lot, and hopefully the cohesion and the steady, not ups and downs, not peaks and valleys. We keep this shit steady with all three phases: special teams, defense, and offense, and I think we'll be just fine.
All right, JW, you gonna go make are you gonna make a TTC video now?
Yeah, I'm probably in the TTC. Like, if you win, you do a victory lap, and if you lose, you do crow. So I'll probably be doing a victory lap. I'm not sure when, but I'll definitely be doing one here in a bit.
All right, well, prep for it. We'll be cheering for you when you do that. J-Dub, tell them where they can find you on YouTube if they want to check that out.
Well,
or is that a secret?
No, it's fine. It's my only social media, so that's the only place you can find me is on YouTube. It's J-Dub surrounded by asterisks, and then Josh Dubril. The last name's Dubreuil. I'm always on there. I used to do Panthers videos and such, but I kind of leave that to the professionals now. So I joined a thing called the TTC. It's a trash talk circle. Basically, it's a bunch of degenerates just running their mouth to each other about football. And
I know about the trash. I know about the TTC. If I was gonna do it, I'd put a mask on, like some dudes back in the day did. Mugs used to cover their faces back in the day when they were like making death threats and stuff.
Oh, the Bengals kid I was playing this week was wearing a mask the whole time, and I dogged him for it. Like, I mean, I'll go live. I'll have my face on there, but a lot of times I do mine. I'll just be like in the dark in the street at night or something, or my hat low. Like, I don't really care. Like, I have nothing to hide. I like all these people who, like, go Facebook hunting for people's private lives and stuff. I just run my mouth. I'll talk smack with anybody any day.
All right, man. We appreciate it, J-Dub. That's J-Dub. Check out his work, his trash talk videos. They're not for the faint of heart. He actually keeps them really clean compared to some of the other ones that go down, which are tough. And my favorite one is the dude from Miami who used to make his, or Tampa Bay, who like made it in his mom's closet. And so he would be talking all this trash, and there'd be like grandma clothes behind him and stuff. And I was like, you can't talk trash like that. All right, Cody Lashney, have you hit him up? You hit him up with your info. My name is Tony Dunn. The show is the C3 Panthers podcast. It's live on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. The YouTube stream went down, but we stayed up on Facebook and Periscope today. We'll be posting this on the podcast. We need your help and your support. We just crossed 1,000 followers on YouTube. Big deal for us. 6,000 followers on Twitter. That's at @cat_chronicles. And we're going to continue to grow this fan base together across the world, across Panther Nation. This is the C3 podcast. We'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Keep pounding.
Peace.